Mr. Cowboy Douglas, welcome to your first one-on-one with Hype Plus. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Truly blessed. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Now, of course, everyone can kind of associate you with Nipsey Hussle, but I wanna get to know you for the beginning of this, the start of this. What's your story? You born and raised in Los Angeles, or did you come from somewhere else? Like, what's your story when it comes to your upbringing?
My mom, my earliest memories, I would say 83 is when we moved to the hood. So I was about 10, so in 83. So I know my earliest childhood memories was in Altadena. Then my mom moved to the hood in 83. So you realize from like 10, 11, 12, 13, I was riding bikes, playing basketball, you know what I mean? I was a baller, I played basketball, everybody thought I was going pro. It wasn't nobody I didn't dunk on, that's what I did, I played ball, you know what I mean? So even once I started gangbanging, you look at all the old pictures, you see me walking down the street with a blue rag and a basketball. You know what I mean? So I was always an athlete, you know what I mean? I always played ball. So just grew up in Windsor Hills, started in the hood, Lower Windsor Hills. Then my mom and my stepdad moved to Ladera Heights. So they upgraded, but my friends were still in the hood. So my brothers are younger than me, so all their friends were Ladera, and I wouldn't let them bang. So all their friends were, upper class, most of my friends were still in the hood. So
Yeah.
I was in the hood, you know what I mean?
How was it? You mentioned basketball and then at the same time gang banging. Like, at what point did you have to make a decision what you were going to do? Did it ever come to that for you that you had to decide?
Well, my mom and them, they made decisions for me as far as what school I should go to. They tried to keep me away from the homies. Instead of me going to Crenshaw, they sent me to Westchester. So while me at Westchester, I couldn't comprehend as well as if I went to Crenshaw, which I hung with the homies anyway, and at Crenshaw, those black teachers, they was helping you get through. They were getting you to college. So I had the skill to play, and they would have let me do my stuff. But my mom felt, oh, go to Westchester, keep them away from the homies. But those white coaches wasn't feeling me. I'm the young thug, Chuck Taylor's crossing niggas over, and they couldn't understand that. You know what I mean? So I never had a fair chance. You know what I mean? So. By my parents trying to get me away from the hood, it kind of messed me up, I think. If I'd have went to Crenshaw, I would have been embraced because those were my friends. That's who I hung out with, so don't take me away. Then she tried to check me into Hamilton. That lasted for a couple weeks. She tried to check me into the Venice Shoreline school. That lasted a day. You know what I mean? So she's trying to get me out of the hood, but it ran me into more and more problems because I was really back then, you really gangbang. If he was a blood, he had on all red. If he was a Crip, he had on all blue. It wasn't no, you knew that person was banging. So when you saw me, you like, okay, this nigga's a thug. You know what I mean? So, but I had skills, you know what I mean? But I never had the real opportunity, so.
Yeah. That seems to be like a lot of people's story at times in the hood. There's a lot of talented people in the hood. At what point did you decide to do more than just as far as like being in the life when it comes to the streets? Did you try to explore other things outside of basketball after that?
Yeah, I always did music. I always bought equipment for the homies. I always did a little bit of everything, from riding motorcycles, bikes. It wasn't nothing that I didn't do. I was always good with my hands and tools, building shit. My dad was a roofer, so I grew up on roofs and, throwing nails off the truck and hammering and nailing. I remember when I took apart my bike and I didn't know how to put it back together. I was good at tearing shit apart. Then now I can put it, it's nothing I can't work on. Cars, construction. I've done a little bit of everything. They say a jack of all trades, a master of none, but I mastered a lot of shit, you know what I mean? So.
That's interesting to hear that from a lens of just being a black man in the hood, but at the same time having those skill sets. I don't think a lot of like young men now have those skill sets. Some dudes don't even know how to change a tire. You ever want to like speak on that? Like when you see how your generation maybe was a little bit more skilled than the current generation.
Oh, that's for sure. We're more hands-on. This generation, they're lazy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of everything is handed to them. Our parents and our grandparents, they had to fight for rights. They had to fight to vote. They fought for a lot of stuff. They fought for us to live the way that we live, and now that we live a certain way, that the youngsters are neglecting it. Our grandparents, they cherished it because they remember when they couldn't drink at this water fountain. So now we got the opportunity to drink at these water fountains. We got opportunities to open up businesses. So the thing is, when they were on our necks, we had to be together. So they said, get your foot off of their necks and let them loose. Give them some, let them vote, let them do some shit, because we need these motherfuckers, and then they gonna wreck themselves. You feel me? We was so powerful, you know what I mean? So it's all a plan, and and once you know the plan and you still bite into it, then who's the fool? We already know.
When you say the plan, what do you mean by that?
The design, you know what I mean? The design, the shit that we're going through. I remember I went to West Angeles Christian Academy as a kid, and I remember reading through the Bible, and they were talking about the internet. And we were talking about the internet back then, and we were reading Revelations, talking about that computer and talking about the signs and stuff. So it's now that I know we're living it. You know what I mean? Back then it was like, oh yeah, okay, the mark of the beast. Look at these tap cards. Look at all the stuff that's going on. Look at the AI shit. Look at what's going on. So look in the 70s when we looked at the Jetsons. And
Right.
they showed a flat screen TV for the first time, a microwave. I remember when there was no microwave. We had to cook on a stove. Microwave, when that came out, we were like, wow, a microwave. So we saw all this in the Jetsons, the flying cars, all the. So now, look at the pictures, the movies, and the cartoons you see now. Look at their prediction of your future. Torn down buildings,
Right.
no air, fighting for gas. You understand? So your future's on its way. In the 70s, they told us what 2020 was gonna look like. Those Buck Rogers dates. So we're living that right now.
Right.
In a minute, it's gonna be destruction. Everything is gonna crumble. It's gonna be nothing. They just gave us a preview during the pandemic. Fighting over toilet paper, this and that. Are you gonna be able to survive off of the land, or are you gonna take the mark of the beast so you can go in there and get you some groceries? So it's gonna be decision time. So long as we still fighting over the internet, who's this and who's that, then we're not looking at the big picture.
How did you made me think about something. How did the hood, in terms of like other, like, as far as gangbangers, how did they take on the COVID shot? What was the conversation in the hood about the COVID shot, like from a street level? Would it be whack if you got the COVID shot and you were also, claiming at the same time? Is that kind of weird?
Nah, that really wasn't weird. It was just the majority of the ones that I was like, nah, we ain't with that shit. You know what I mean? Then you had some like, man, I took it, and not this and not that. You know what I mean? It was just more of a preference. You know what I mean? I didn't look at it. I looked at it like I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. And me and my grandma had a debate about it. I felt, my faith in God. I didn't need no shot to cure me. I caught it twice, and I didn't need no shot. I didn't need no vaccines. You know what I mean? I caught it. It knocked me down. You know what I mean? So I felt my God was gonna take care of it, And my grandma, she said, well, sometimes God will send a doctor. I said, well, God don't need to send no doctor. He can handle it, you know what I mean? But that was her thinking, and that, me and my grandma, we had real debates about it, biblical debates about, should we take it? And she was saying that I should. And I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. My dad did it, So it was more of a preference, you know what I mean? And it was more of a test to see who will fall for it, to see if the majority go for it. So now the next step is, okay, we're gonna shut it down. Now you gotta put this chip in your arm to go get these groceries. So
I think it was a grooming process.
There you go. So the next phase, so now they shut it down for a little minute. We did a year or so. So imagine when it's shut down and it's a 10-year span or whatever amount of time it is. The space shuttles, they fly back and forth like it's nothing now. That used to be a big thing. Ain't no telling what's the whole city up there. You know what I mean? So the earth, how much waste, how much every day, how much can the earth take? How much natural resources? We're running out of gas, we're running out of oil, we're running out of these natural things. So.
No doubt. Now, one thing people will instantly know about you with the name Cowboy is that you wear a cowboy hat. Where did this begin? When did the name Cowboy come? And what's the story with you wearing a cowboy hat?
Well, I started wearing the cowboy hat in prison. So when you're on the yard crew, they give you a big straw hat. It's like a Chinese style straw hat. So I would wear the straw hat and I would shape it like a cowboy hat, And And
Okay.
so all day I had shade because it's 110 degrees. We working out on hot bars, so you got your yard crew gloves on. I had my hat on. I would work out and I had shade. There's no shade on the yard, so you walk in the yard every day. So okay, I start wearing the hat. So when riots would kick off, the gun tower would be like, Cowboy, get up, yeah, you wasn't in it, or Cowboy, yeah, go lock it up, so it saved me in a lot of ways. Then when I wanted to go do some dirt, I could take the hat off, throw the beanie on, slide through the yard, do my thing, and get back to the cell. You know what I mean? So, and then when I came home from prison, I wore the straw hat. Nip and them used to laugh at it. Oh man, why you wearing that hat? A couple videos, he kept scooting me over. I said, man, this nigga done moved me out the video. I had a prime shot, but I had the hat on. He gave me the all money in hat, and I'm like, nah, I want to rock my hat. And he moved me all the way to the side. So, the hat, when I came home from prison, I continued to wear it because it reminded me where I came from. Like, when I came home from prison, I left all my friends in prison. They were all lifers. They wasn't coming home. Like the day I came home from prison, I was in tears because I was leaving niggas that I wasn't gonna see no more. I was going home, but these were my niggas for the last 5 years, but they not never going home. So I was in tears because I was like, who am I going home to? I didn't have no friends to come home to. I was just leaving my friends. So coming up from prison, I started running across Nip and Fats and all that little crew. And they didn't hang in the hood selling dope. They hung in front of these abandoned buildings and they was selling CDs and hustling. So that's what attracted me to them. Like, okay, these little niggas ain't on the block doing the regular shit. Them niggas is over here. They on the corner in front of these businesses, And then I see Nip walking through the hood with G'd up, blue shit on. I'm like, man, where that nigga from? Like, man, he just a rapper. I'm like, man, that nigga look like he from the hood. And I'm looking, that nigga remind me of me. He gonna grow up, watch, he gonna beat your ass. I was just like, I could see it. Like in the next couple years, he gonna be from the hood. So I started talking to him about it. Then it was like my little protege, I kind of laced him about the hood before he even got to it. I didn't want him to make the mistakes I made. So like I said, me wearing the hat, it was a reminder not to go back to prison. I've been to prison 5 or 6 times. So the 5 years, the 5 years, that was my first time, my first joke I did. They gave me 60 months and I did 59 months out of 60. Then I came home and that's when I started rocking the hat. But I was in CMC on the yard and my homie had life, my homie Bootsy. He's home now, but he had life on that yard. I think he turned 60 on that yard. And we was there, he was like, man, you remind me of my homeboy Cowboy. You feel me? And Cowboy might have got killed in 78 early on. So I was like, man, when I get home, I'm gonna represent Lil Cowboy. I'm gonna keep his legacy alive. He never had a little homie. You know what I mean? So I came home and I took on Lil Cowboy because like when I went to prison, before prison, I looked at Bloods a certain way. I looked at Hoovers a certain way. I looked at these individuals a certain way because I was programmed. I went to prison and I jailed with these guys, the Bloods, the Crips, the Hoovers, the best of the best. And we had to have each other's backs. So when I came home from prison, I'm like, you know what? You got some cool Hoovers. You got some cool Bloods. You got some cool niggas from all these hoods. But if you introduce two pit bulls wrong, they're gonna fight and they're never gonna be friends. But if you introduce them right, they might have a mutual friend. If you introduce this Hoover with this 60 through a mutual thing, then they friends for life. It's how you introduce. So now when we in the city, we introduce ourselves. Where you from? Oh man, I don't bang. Well, where you stay at? Oh, I stay over on 83rd. Oh yeah, you one of them, nigga. Yeah. So we gonna label you anyway. You know what I mean? So some of us didn't have a choice. They just stayed in the area and you caught the slack because where your mama moved at. You know what I mean?
Now you mentioned there's politics in every way, like there's street politics and there's prison politics. Now you said you had to have like people's back, like each other's back, whether a guy was from a different place or was with a different set. Who were you guys having your backs up against? Was it like Mexicans? Was it like
mainly Mexican? Mainly at that time, mainly Mexican. 9/11, we had a big riot in Chuckawalla with the white boys. With the skinheads. You know what I mean? So when you're in prison, you got the groups. So at any given time, it'll go down. I think the first night I was there, it went down with the Serranios. The first night I was in there. Believe it or not, a level 2 yard is just more dangerous as a 4 yard. See, a 4 yard is gonna be a respect line. Everybody ready, it's a respect line. And the security is tighter. On a 2 yard is less security, so now you got more weapons and more shit, and you got more people that's loose. So when it go down on them 2 yards, it goes down. More than likely on the 4 yards, it's a couple individual things, and they gonna go handle it, and one of them ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? So the 2 yard is pretty vicious.
With you being a OG, is that respected to call you an OG? Is that the proper label? How have you assessed the whole divide between Mexican and blacks? Like, why do you think that exists? Why do you think there's that clashing inside prison and outside?
Well, inside prison, a lot of politics. It was rules and regulations. Since lately, it's been different. A lot of their young culture adapted with our culture. They into rap. So the generation of Serranios that I grew up with, they were under a little different politic. It was a little different. You know what I mean? They was establishing themselves. That I remember before they all came together. So they had to establish themselves. So now, generations later, it's a lot more love. We get love on that side. You know what I mean? So sometimes you gotta come gain your respect. Like, this is what we press, and they had to press that line. We here, and this is what we doing. So they had a stuff that they had to go through. Where when they meet each other, they had to squabble up, and after that, wasn't no more bullshit. If y'all got a problem, y'all squabble up, and after that, we gonna program. It's program time. You feel me? Which, that's what I admire about them. They know how to program time. So, and they earned their respect because they program. So us as a people, we need to learn how to program. We need to say, you know what, we're gonna follow this structure. If two blacks got a problem, we're gonna put the guns down, we're gonna squabble up, and we're gonna, blacks, we're everybody's above the program. I ain't doing that. Everybody's above the rule. Nobody want to follow a pecking order. Everybody feel me. I ain't, nigga, oh, fuck that. You feel me? But we got to have a structure. If you go to jail for some senseless killing, then that's a violation. Black on black. You feel me? If you got a problem, black on black, y'all should be able to resolve it. Okay, now you sitting there, me and you ain't the same size, but we got a problem. But you got your fist balled up and you trying. Somebody else gonna step up and say, you know what? The youngster, he ain't your size, but you know what? I got that for him. You feel me? That's how you do it. So you mean you got an issue and you willing to step up, and you like, damn, hold up, man. That little man can't handle it, but he trying. You know what? I'm gonna handle it for him. I got that. That's my little nigga, so I got that. We gonna give you a fair one. So that's how it should be. You know what I mean? If you got an issue, let's handle it from the fist and live, instead of everybody being a coward. Let me get a gun. I'm above the rules. Fuck that nigga. You know, ain't no consequences if you kill another black man just because y'all had an argument. He didn't threaten your life. It was an argument. It could have been resolved with a squabble. You know what I mean? So don't run to the gun. I feel that's a coward, just running to the gun if it's not life threatening.
Yeah. Now, as far as again, being someone that has like lived a life, have you given yourself like grace? Have you forgiven yourself about like things that you've done in the past? I'm sure they might come up in your mind, and you might have past regrets, if any. Where you at now when peace within yourself?
Oh, I'm great. You know, I got a good relationship with God. You know what I mean? So, throughout my career, he guided my footsteps, and he put me in these positions where I could talk about it. He put me through drugs. He put me through all these prisons. He molded me into the person that I am now, so we can talk about it. If you're going through something in life, we could talk about it. You want to talk about gang banging? Come on, let's talk. You want to talk about drugs, crack, crystal? What you want to talk about? You want to talk about some lean? What you want to talk about? I did it all. Whoa. So you're going to respect it because I done it. I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I'm not talking textbook, something I read or something I heard. A lot of these niggas talk what they heard. I heard it was like that. No, I was there. I talk what I witnessed. I talk what I know. I can't speak on what I don't know. If you say, man, do you do plumbing? I say, hey, man, I know a little bit. I know what I know. You feel me? Can I do that roof? Yes, sir. Can I do this? Yes, I can do that. You know what I mean? So you gotta know your lane and stay in it. Shit.
So what will make you, in terms of as you came up as a young man, join? I believe you affiliated with the Rolling 60s. Is that accurate to say that?
Oh yeah, for sure. You feel me? I'm an advocate for the Rolling 60s. I'm trying to change. I got the task impossible. I'm trying to change that hood that don't want to change. You understand? So, and I'm trying to bring all these hoods together. I'm trying to bring my people together for change. So, yeah, I'm trying for change. You know what I mean?
When you were a young man, what made you join the Rolling 60s?
It really wasn't what made me join, that was my community. So no matter what, I was from over there. You know what I mean? If my mama would have moved a couple blocks over, I'd be from Inglewood right now. If she'd have moved to the Hoovers, I'd be from Hoover right now. You know what I mean? I didn't have no choice in the matter. You know what I mean? Wherever your family moved at, that's where you were gonna be from. I don't care where you moved to. You know what I mean? Even if you wasn't from there, they gonna ask you, man, where you from? Oh man, on Bang. Well, where you stay? I stay on 100 and something. Oh yeah, okay, you one of them. Or you one of them, they gonna dust you off. You're like, damn, I done got dusted off twice this week and I ain't even from over there. I might as well get put on. You know what I mean? So, I got chased a few times. Some bloods jumped out, chased me a few times. You know what I mean? I'm faking it right now. They chased a nigga when I'm 15, took a nigga, bloods jumped out, took a nigga bike and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, all right. You feel me? I remember when I wasn't going on that side of 60th. Like, them niggas is crazy, man. Get about 15, 16, start peeking around the corner. They're like, nigga, where you from? Like, nigga, I'm from 60s. Like, nigga, and they'll collar a nigga up. You know what I mean? So it was a time when I was that wannabe. You know what I mean? So I know every phase of gangbanging.
So I've seen you definitely give a lot of advice to people in terms of how they should interact in the hood, how they should conduct themselves. Just for your common people, when you're approached by someone that says, where you from? And they clearly trying to check, your background, and if you're affiliated with anybody, what's the best response to that?
The best response, if somebody want to ask you from, well, if you a gangbanger or whatever, if you from that section or whatever, hey man, where you from? Like, man, I'm from Hoover. I'm from Hoover, man. Where you from, bro? And it's all about the energy. You match the energy with the energy. Oh yeah, I'm from what up, hood? I'm hood. This is where I'm from. Like some Bloods, they said some dumb shit earlier today. I jumped out on them, hey bro, and I said what I had to say. Understand? Oh, misunderstandings. Keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So it's a code of ethics. It's about respect. If I'd have jumped out, oh you bitch ass niggas, then I'm gonna get that energy. So we're gonna match your energy. Feel me? And I'm willing to go to the max. If you jump out with the wrong look on your face, fist balled up, then I know to ball my shit up. You feel me? You jump out, smile. Hey, how you doing? Hey, bro. Hey, I'm from Villain. I'm from Peastone. I'm from wherever. I get that all day. I see all these hoods that I was taught to dislike, but now I feel the love. I've never seen no one person like in LA get that type of love like that. I get some good love from a lot of hoods that I was brought up to dislike. You know what I mean? So I don't want my little homies to go through what I went through. Okay, this big homie man got his ass beat in 74 and he mad at these niggas, so why is you niggas still fighting over it? That old ass nigga need to get up and go handle it. Get off the couch and go handle it. To quit going down that same path. You know what I mean? This hood shit ain't what it is no more. It's no more loyalty. We was friends. You feel me? If you was walking down the street, I would not pass you up. Hey, where you going, little homie? A big homie would not pass. Man, be stuck right now, pushing your car through the hood and see who stop for you. Feel me? Ain't no more love. When the last time you seen somebody pour some out for the dead homies?
Come on.
But everything that come out on the dead homies. But you can't crack your little bottle. Every bottle we cracked, we reminisced on our dead loved ones. We didn't blow them up and say on the dead homies. It's like, it's a new culture that 90s generation got wiped out. 3 strikes laws, gang injunction. So now I can't walk to the store with you no more. You my neighbor, you around the corner, but if we walk to the store, we getting gaffled up. So now I'm walking to the store, man, look at that buster ass nigga, only because I never met you. So now we gonna collide only because we never had a chance to meet and greet, get to know each other,
Right. You think gang culture was created by design?
I wouldn't say it was created by design. No, I wouldn't say that. The movies, the shit that we saw coming up, it led us to that. So now, if you look at what the kids are watching now, and now they getting wilder and wilder. because there's no filter on what they get. You know, like my daughter's watching TikTok right now, and I was thumbing through TikTok like, man, I don't know if this is appropriate for her. She's 10 now. I'm not sure if this is appropriate. You know, I'm thumbing through it for a minute, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So they get too much. There's no filter on what they get nowadays. You know what I mean? So we had a filter on it, and we were still wild. So these youngsters.
What do you think, from somebody that's not affiliated with any gang and they just trying to enjoy the day in LA, and they are approached and people ask them where they from, do you instantly kind of like just submit to the situation and be like, yo, I'm not even affiliated? Because that would be my natural reaction.
Yeah,
Like,
you
let
just
you know
tell
I'm not even with that.
I'm from Alabama, I'm from Texas, I'm from, my bad, bro, have a nice day. You know what I mean? You feel me? You know, yeah, I ain't from my bad that I may have on the Oakland hat or I may have on this hat. That's just my team, nigga. I ain't from out here. You know what I mean?
Do you take off the hat? Do you take off the hat? Just out of, depends on what the energy is.
Most, gangbangers, we pretty respectable. Now, like, if you come over, like, if you in the neighborhood and I seen some motherfuckers, some tourists come through with the wrong hat on, I like, you got that. It ain't a wise decision, somebody might interpret that wrong, but you from out of town, it shouldn't be a problem, you know what I mean? But you do got hotheads, certain motherfuckers that's trying to prove something that might take that, if they just see that hat, especially if they see that hat and that hat is in that section, you might get mistaken. You know what I mean? If you got a A's hat on and you just so happen to be in the A's area, you might have an issue because they're like, man, who was you? You ain't one of us, or a motherfucker roll up and think you one of them. You know what I mean? So the city, you know what? I've seen the city at its highest. I've seen it when it's just wild, and I've seen it when it's just, it's been at a cool calm. It hadn't been, I'm used to the bird, the helicopter. I'm just talking about 610 day, that shit was wicked. It was, it was cracking. The hood day that whole night, it was ridiculous. But for the most part, the city has been pretty calm, and it's been generations and generations of gangbanging. So the first generation, they was new to them. So now here it is, the little homies, the baby homies. Now here it is, tinies, the infants. So here it is, 20-something, 30 years later, we looking like, you know what, that ain't cool. That first generation, it was new. They was trying to figure it out. So then, now it's years later, we figuring out, you know what, it's a change. Now we got, we got blood friends, we got Crip friends, you know what I mean? So now it's all about the introduction and the structure. We need structure. It's time to program. You know what I mean? So we need to come up with LA structure, just like New York, Chicago, everybody got a structure, nobody's above the program. So we need to come up with a structure that where we don't kill each other. That should be a no-no. We shouldn't kill each other, no matter what, no matter how serious it is. Go get your uncle, go get your daddy. If you can't handle it, go somebody. You a little nigga, go get your daddy, nigga. Come on back. You know what I mean? So let's quit killing each other. That's my main goal. I'm tired of senseless killings. I'm just tired of niggas dying for nothing. Sure. I done did everything on earth. I done had it all. I done had all the money, all the cars, all the women. It ain't nothing on earth that move me no more. It ain't nothing that you can offer me on earth. I do this shit for the message. You know what I mean? I do it for the message. It ain't about, money that I done turned down and shit that I got. I do this for the message. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about for me.
Now you would end up getting out of prison, right? Like your last time you got out of prison, do you remember that first day that you had when you were free? Like, do you remember what you did exactly?
The last time I was in prison, shit, I just got out probation last year. I got out probation. I turned 50 this year, shit. It took me 50 years down there to figure it out, at least 30-something years. 30, I've been going to jail for, I'm 50 now. I've been going to jail for, shit, at least 34 years. It wasn't a year that I didn't miss jail.
What you think was going on with you, just reflecting on that? That's a lot.
You was in the city wild, just, you wilding out, you was living that lifestyle, but the lifestyle that I lived all those years in prison, the few years that I did the right thing, I outlived every lick that I ever hit, every twist that I ever done twisted. The last 3, 4, 5 years been greater on this side, doing the right thing. I don't run from the police. I don't look over my shoulder no more. I'm not worried about nobody telling on me. I'm doing all the right thing, and I've been stupid blessed. You know what I mean? Anything I ask God for, He give it to me. It ain't nothing that I done asked for that He ain't gave me. When I was on my Rolls Royce Benz, hey God, I need that Bentley, man. He gave me all that. You know what I mean? Everything I asked for, He gave me everything. You know what I mean? So it's only right. As much energy I gave to beat niggas up and going to jail, squabbing for my hood, I'm giving toward, nah, nigga, that ain't it. That ain't it. I'm gonna give double the energy to try to save your ass. Like, nigga, you don't want to go to prison. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be from, you know how many niggas I done gave the speech, you don't want to be from the hood? This shit washed up, leave that shit alone. You know what I mean? Man, we want to be from the hood. Man, come on, let's have a talk first. But if you want to be from the hood, this how you do it. I'm gonna show you how to do that if you want to be, but this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. You know, so.
Right. You know, you would get out, and you said there was that time when you would run into Nipsey and his gang and his crew, I'll say, the guys that he was coming up with. What was that first meeting like when you met Nipsey? Did you recognize right away, I believe, of like his aura was different or how he handled himself? Like, what was your first time meeting him?
Oh, I saw him a couple times, then I met him, then I talked to him, we chopped it up, became friends, and every day we kicked it. We kicked it every day. We grinded. You know, I had a chance to lace him about the hood. Like I said, at the beginning, he was like a little brother. You know what I mean? At the end, he was like a dad. He be giving me advice like, hey, bro, you need to do this. I'd be like, nigga, I was supposed to be telling you this shit, nigga. You telling me, you know? But at the time, I was fucking up, and he had his shit together. So he was inspiration for me, because he was my little homie. Like, man, if this little nigga can do it, nigga, man, if I don't get off my ass and give me a foreign whip, nigga, he talking this foreign shit, nigga. Man, before he passed, I must have bust 7 foreign whips on that nigga. Every week I pulled up with something new, like, bro, yeah, you inspired me, you know what I mean? I pulled up in the old ass, the 50 cent, the bubble-eyed Benz. His Nip was like, yeah, it's cool, you know what I mean? So that's that old when 50 Cent was in something. Yeah, so then I pulled up in like a 530. Then I bust that 550 on his ass. Then I pull up in that Audi A7 on him. He like, yeah, that motherfucker fresh right there. You know what I mean? So Nip motivated. Everybody in the hood got foreign whips and gold chains. You feel me? My daughter got so many chains. I'm like, baby, you can't be wearing all them chains. She got more gold, you know, but she seen her daddy do it. She seen Nip and them do it, you know. I think I started having money and started doing more when I put the chains up and just start working with the credit cards. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it.
Now, as far as just Nip, in terms of this portion of our interview, you know, he was definitely inspiration for a lot of people, you know, that touched his hood, the hood over, the world, the city. What do you think his mission was? Did he ever express like what he was after, like truly what he was after in terms of his body of work?
It was really just ownership, owning something, you know, staying down, believing in something. It's really like, nigga, believe in it, stay down and work with it. A brick a day, every day, whatever it is. Man, he always told me, man, he said he admired me because every year I reinvent myself. I'm doing something else. I'm doing comedy right now. Nigga, I'm over there doing, I bought a tow truck. I'm tow trucking today. You know what I mean? I never, whatever the hustle was, I did it. You know what I mean? And by me seeing him, when I was driving a tow truck, I was making good money, but they didn't respect that. You feel me? When I pulled up in the big body shit, then I was like, damn, nigga, I was making more money in the tow truck. But when they seen the shine, they gonna follow the shine. You know what I mean? So lately the shine, I put the shine on the shelf. The shine is on the shelf because I've been grinding right now, you know, building my restaurant, getting my clothing store, you know, the clothing store cracking right now, you know what I mean? Restaurant picking up, you know, you go through these struggles to really find loyalty, find out who gonna be there for you when you ain't got nothing. You know, I went through drugs to see who really had my back. You know, I always had money in the hood. I always had the bread. You know what I mean? So I had a gang of friends. It took me to be on crack cocaine to look through the hood and see, okay, it's only a handful of niggas that got at me. Maybe 5 niggas out of 1,000 niggas over here. You know what I mean?
So you got people abandoned you when you end up being addicted.
Oh, friends, family, oh yeah. I got to see clear when it all fell off. You know what I mean? Then when I got it all back, I seen them all flock back. You know what I mean? So then you 57 fake them, act like you broke again. Then you watch them fall off again. Now I'm hitting them for the grand finale on his way.
Were you conscious? Were you conscious when you were addicted? Were you conscious? Could you feel like? Did you have a sense of emotion that people were not giving you the love, were not supporting you, were turning their back on you? How did you feel? Were you just numb to it?
Well, it wasn't that. You know, see, I wasn't an in the closet smoker. I pull up, Nip be at a video shoot, now I'm pulling the pipe out, nigga. I'm gonna get busy right on the spot, nigga, and I'm gonna sit there and be on point like you smoke your weed. You willy-nilly smoke your weed? How you roll up like it's the thing to do? I'm gonna blow the smoke out and can program. Why you over there smoking bud? Like that was cuz over there smoking crack, yeah. I never hid nothing. If I'm gonna go hide and go in the closet, nobody knew I would have never on earth knew I smoked dope if I didn't want them to. I did it. Right. If I'm gonna hide it, man, I have my pipe right here. I got weed right here and I have my pistol. Nigga, you smoke.
Ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody confronted you about that. Like, yo, dog, like that's not.
Everybody had something to say behind my back. Maybe 5 or 6 niggas in the whole hood pulled me to the side like, bro, you better than that. Bro, get your shit together. You feel me? So I needed to hear that 5 out of that 1,000.
Yeah.
That feel me, they gonna tell me what I need to know. Not wait till I'm gone. Man, look at that nigga done fell off. Look at that nigga. So the chatter was going on, so that was cool. So all those faulty friends fell off, so now I can see clear. When they said the circle getting small, everybody can't go. They didn't know that the major comeback. They thought that was the end of the chapter. They thought that, okay, that was it. And they gonna be barefooted walking down Slauson broke. Nah. You know, God had a bigger plan. They didn't see it though. You know what I mean? So, you know, I got off of drugs and I became a family man, you know what I mean, before Nip had passed though. So I wasn't using drugs all the way up to Nip pass. So it had been maybe like 3 or 4 years prior to Nip passing that I was clean. Feel me? So I went to.
How did you get off of drugs?
I was smoking cocaine one night in this bitch house I was staying at. She was acting funny. So I prayed to God, I said, God, take that taste out of my mouth. You know what I mean? And I told her, I said, I'm done. I threw that shit through my pipe. When I walked out the house, a nigga was walking down the street with a sack. He said, hey, Mac, you want to hit this? As soon as I walked out, I just prayed about it. I walked that out. He said, man, you want to hit this? I said, come on. I walked that nigga down to the donut shop right there. We sat there hitting the pipe. Police rolled by. I said, man, you know they coming back. You better get. Because I said, I can go. I can hit that gate right now. I'm out here. I said, man, I'm tired. They bust that U-turn. They came back. They said, what's your name? I said, don't even worry about it. I'm going with y'all. I was already on a run. I said, don't even worry about it. Just put me in the back. I'm out of here. And I laid down like, run my name. Once you run my name, you know who I am. Once they get his name, it's going, don't give my name as an alias, nigga. You going to jail, nigga. So that was my road to recovery. So I went to jail then, and I think I was on the run. I was on the run for probation and all this other shit. You know what I mean? I had cut off ankle monitors and shit. So I went to jail. I did a little program in downtown LA. Went down to the shelter, the homeless shelters, a Christian-based shelter. Started reading my Bible and stuff like that. Eventually moved to Lancaster, got me a spot in Lancaster. Had a female, had 2 kids by her. Had a domestic dispute with her. And I got my face burned, and that brought me back to LA. And that's what, like maybe a year before Nip passed, I was back in LA with Nip every day until he passed. So like I was a family man taking care of 2 of my children. Then we had a domestic dispute, and it shot me straight back to Nip. You know, other than that, I'd still be in Lancaster raising my kids, but that domestic dispute shot me right back to Nip, and I was on the team up until the day that he passed.
Yeah. Now, as far as like Nipsey, again, he was someone that was given a lot of messages and inspiration. Unfortunately, he would also have interference when it came down to the LAPD, and they would raid the store. Were you around when they would raid the store, and how did he really receive that because he was trying to do something good in the community.
Yeah, I mean, you had hate. So at that point in time, we owned the whole parking lot. So they pulled in one night. They say, "Who Maybach is this?" We like, man, we don't know who Maybach that is. And we was serious. It was not Nipsey Maybach. We honestly, I'm like, man, who fucking left this Maybach right here? Somebody jumped out the Maybach, went in the store, and never came out. So the police like, who Maybach is that? We're like, we don't know. So they told it. For no reason. It was tags, registration, everything was cool. They told it. The next day, Nip pulled up in the Maybach. Not that Maybach. Pull up in his Maybach. Boom. They gaffled him up. He had a warrant. So they was up there waiting on him. Feel me? Because they knew he had the warrant. They gaffled him up. They don't know bro got a show in China in a couple days. So he about to go through this checkpoints and all this shit with this warrant and shit. Bam, they shoot him to jail. Boom, bail out, no more warrant. He to China at the show, free and clear. He out on bail, he good to go. He had a chance to do the show with no problem. So with everything they did, bro, look, the police called the owners of the building every day. Get them niggas out of there. Nigga get caught stealing something, we beating the brakes off of them, dusting them off, get up out of here. So ain't nobody calling the police to this parking lot. Cause we own every store.
Correct.
You get caught stealing something, you out of here. You know what I mean? So they called every day, kick them out, kick them out, kick them out. How we gonna? There's 8 buildings in this store, in this property, and we got 6 of them. There's only 2 that we not in. So every day they like, get them out of here. So we dust off one of the homies one day, and they called and said, look, that's the last call. So every day, Nip was calling, sell the building, sell the building. Every day they calling like, kick them out, kick them out, kick them out.
Okay.
They was like, we ain't never selling, we ain't never selling. You know what? Too much headache, sell it. And they sold it to bro. So no matter what and I wouldn't say all the cops, because after Nip passed, there was a lot of cops down there that showed love, a lot of cops that was in tears. You know what I mean? So you had some cops that fuck with him, but you had some cops that remember him when he was hopping gates and he was talking that shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was a love-hate thing. You got some cops that hated it, then you had some that really missed bro.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think the LAPD as a collective respected what he was doing and respected you guys as a unit, or was there like disrespect when it came to your movement?
They respected it, but at the same token, they was looking to catch us slipping though. You feel me? That's their job. That's their job to pull up and catch us with a blower, catch us with something, you know. So the reason we got them buildings, because we was selling the t-shirts and they gaffled up and took the shit. Then when they took all our shit, we looked across the street and said, for lease. They said, if you want to sell some shit, go get a building. We looked across the street, there it go, for lease. That's when Fats and Black Salmon went and got that for lease. And they got the first Slauson tees. You know what I mean? So everything they did, all they did was make us do it the right way. The law was there, so you gotta do it the right way. If everybody could break the, what's the reason I had a law there? Okay, that's why they got you set your business up and you gotta pay your taxes, you gotta do this. Or you can try it the illegal way and you see what's gonna happen. Feel me? That Westie snipe you on your taxes. Go try the wrong way. Or do it the right motherfucking way. That's what I'm preaching. Just do it the right way, because it's gonna save you some headache. You ain't gotta go to prison 6 times. Just do this.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to prison 6 times to figure out, you know what, let's do it this way. So.
Man. So as far as like Nipsey, he would go on and conquer the world, you know, right from y'all neighborhood. Myself as a fan being, you know, in Atlanta, being able to catch the early mixtapes and being inspired and listening to them when I used to work late at night and needed some inspiration to get through that late night shift. You know, he was the person I was playing, you know, and then that unfortunately would get cut short. I would say kind of, not that necessarily, I'm sure that wasn't his peak because he was on to do so many different great things, but in such an unfortunate moment, releasing his first album, and we would lose Nipsey in 2019. And the opportunity is that you were there to be able to speak with you, that you were there in that moment, you know. How often do you kind of play that back in your head about replaying those moments with Nip, those last moments with Nip?
Damn near every day, cause the day of, like prior to the incident, I sat there and I said, bro, you finally made it. We sat there and we talked. I said, man, you finally made it. We just did the DJ Khaled video. I like, man, you finally made it, bro. You know, you finally on. You know what I mean? Earlier that week, him and Lauren London, they was on the four-wheeler, up and down Slauson and shit. You know, I'm like, man, put a helmet on that girl. The next morning, he out there smoking a blunt on the four-wheeler. I'm like, nigga, you bored, nigga. Feel me? Come back here. And I showed that nigga his storeroom. I was like, man, look at his shirts. I got shit stacked up. Cause they didn't, he go to Marathon store, this store, and that store. That motherfucker filled with nothing but inventory. It was this is the store you go in where all that was filled to the roof. I'm talking about 1,500 square feet here, 1,500 square feet there, nigga, filled to the roof. Small, medium, large, XL, 2X, 3X, all the way to 5X. I'm talking about stacked to the ceiling. And he might have had over 100 different designs. So look at all the designs. I'm talking about you get lost in it. And man, bro, come in there and look around that motherfucker like, he couldn't believe it. Like, bro, I never seen this shit look this clean. You know, once you learn how to smoke dope, you know how to clean some shit up. Now that motherfucker looking immaculate, like nigga, shit folded, nigga, shit, And like I said, I was a part of the team. You know, if a smoker took a shit at the All Money In truck, I got to go out there with the shovel and clean it up. And at the same token, Nip will be right there. I know I got it, bro. It wasn't nothing, bro wouldn't do that. He wouldn't tell me to do nothing he wouldn't do. You know what I mean? He was hands-on with it.
Leadership. Now, as far as you know, in this situation, we would have a suspect, a person's name would come up. Eric Holder would be the identified shooter in this situation. As you know, Nipsey has been a conversation. People talk about him in all the interviews. He's a conversation. Little Boosie was on Vlad a few years ago, and he mentioned that he felt that Eric Holder was hypnotized by hatred, which caused him to do that. How much do you feel that is truth in your own, I guess, trying to understand why Eric would even do that to Nipsey?
That's right on point. Hatred, jealousy, envy. That's all it was. Like, had they had a real beef or something, had they been beefing, I could say nothing. Had they had a real beef, that was just all out blatant crime. That was all hate and jealousy. You know what I mean? Had they been beefing and they was going at it, you know what I mean? That would be a different ball game. You know, nobody could say nothing about nothing. You know, this dude did a foul crime. When his drugs start wearing off, the nigga went and turned himself in. You know, he didn't come back and do no street justice. You know what I mean? He didn't get nobody no action at him. You know, he did a bullshit crime and he killed the heart of the city. He killed. You know. 100 Eric Holders ain't worth one Nip. I wouldn't give a fuck. It's a lot of these niggas out here wasting air. They in the way. They ain't got no purpose. They ain't got nothing. But, you know, it was God's plan. I don't care what nobody say. When Nip was in his casket, he had a smile on his face and he was like this. He had a smile, job well done. I looked at a nigga for an hour. Nigga, I like, man, I've been to 100, a million funerals, I could say damn near. Feel me? And I see when your life is gone. I see when your shit sucked in and you eat that. Like, that don't even look like my nigga. Cuz look full of life. When that nigga died, he was greeted by angels. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. Cuz was glowing. Cuz beard was glowing. Cuz had the chain on, big old diamond. Nigga sitting there like, I did that. Like, nigga don't even, I done that. He had that job well done look on his face. He didn't, you know, he didn't go out sad. He went out. He served his purpose. It was nothing I could have did. It was nothing nobody could have did, bro. You know, me and my grandma talk about that because I know if I'd have been out there, no matter what, I was gonna take a bullet. I'd have went for the gun, whatever. Everybody say what they say or whatever. You know, I wasn't there, so we'll never know. We'll never know.
What's the craziest conspiracy you heard about Nipsey's passing? I'm sure you get a lot.
Just anything with me, that was the craziest. Like, just anything with my name involved. I seen a nigga had a green screen shit where he had me trying to go in Nip pocket. You seen a nigga like this on some green screen shit. I said, this nigga trying to get me killed. You know what I mean? That motherfucker trying to get me killed. That nigga went in his computer and had some shit like that. And I'm like, damn, imagine if a motherfucker bleed this shit. You know what I mean? You don't know the shit a motherfucker come up with some bullshit theory trying to get some clicks, it'll get a nigga like me killed. You know, after I got out of jail that night at the Nip Pass, I stood on Slauson and Crenshaw like whatever my fate was, if the city wasn't gonna respect me or love me or or think I had something to do with it, or think anything, they gonna kill me right here where they killed bro. I'm gonna lay down right here. I'm not. You're not gonna. I stayed down there for the last. I've been down there. I didn't do an interview for 3 years. This is my first year doing interviews. I didn't do no interviews for 3 years after Nip passed. Ain't no interviews. You know, I was in that parking lot cleaning up candles, keeping those murals straight, boop-bopping niggas, making sure niggas stopping niggas from getting robbed, and witnessing all type of bullshit, witnessing the homies dying. You know, Nipsey died. 30 days later, Dominique got out of jail. He got stabbed in his heart right there. He died in my arms right there in that parking lot 30 days later. He may have got 30 candles.
Wow.
Nip filled up the whole parking lot. Cuz got 30 candles, but Cuz was equally, I love Cuz just as much as I love bro. I love Fats like I love Nip. And I'm losing, I love Tape Off. I love Mad Ronnie. All these niggas you never heard about that I'm losing on a weekly, on a monthly. We was getting a funeral a week, 2 funerals in a week. Dumb shit. Then the pandemic hit, niggas dropping. Stomp gone, homies, man, real soldiers is not here. Nigga, the rapture, niggas is gonna be missing. Niggas is gonna be disappearing. The rapture, niggas is gonna be So y'all sit back and think, you know, watch the internet.
Now, you know, of course, recently Eric Holder would get 60 years for what he did to Nip. And you were also, you know, you stood up and were able to go testify. You confronted him in court. Was that like accurate to report? Like you confronted him
man,
about
they kicked
like
me out 2 or 3 times. I got all the paperwork though. You know what I mean? I got all the paperwork. I made sure I got all the transcript, everything I said. You know, yeah, I went in. I looked that man in his eye, and his defense decided to call me back on the stand 2 more extra times. You feel me? So you gave me more action than to look this nigga in the eye. You know what I mean? Every day I was plotting to get that one police he knew I wanted to get in. That nigga, I didn't want to get gunned down. I just want to get my hands around that nigga neck. And like I said, the day I called my lawyer and I called the bail bondsman, I was still on probation at the time, so they told me I wasn't gonna be able to bail out. They said if I take off on Cuz, it's a wrap, you know what I mean? And I know.
So you were really plotting to maybe, you know, get a lick in.
Man, you don't knock it off, nigga, a lick. Yeah, I was gonna choke Cuz best I could. They had to pull me off of him. So, but like I said, the first day, the police right here had a pistol, but that first day, I wanted to get him. The one dude, he was sleeping in a chair, but that one big old dude, he looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then he had the Billy right there. I'm like, man, he liable to gun me down. Like, I don't mind if you tase me. I just didn't want to get popped. You know what I mean? I didn't want this nigga to waste 2 lives. You know what I mean? You feel me? But the day I was going into action, I went out there, that nigga had the big old split in the back of his head. So when I walked out in the court, I said, damn, and the whole courtroom went on one. So, you know, I got my satisfaction because I got to talk shit to that weird ass nigga. Cause he had no business doing what he did, bro. That was foul. You could have took the fade with, bro. Nobody want to listen to your diss if you was mad.
So was it, because they said this story, I mean, based off what you're saying, like, you know, this is just us trying to get some clarity. They didn't have a past beef, right? So it wasn't like it was an ongoing thing. Was it really about like him asking about his paperwork? I've always heard that story, like, oh, he asked about some paperwork, and then
he didn't ask about the paperwork. He didn't even ask about it. You would say, for instance, you ain't seen your cousin in a while, but you've been hearing some bullshit, and you say, hey, look here, cuzzo. Hey, I've been hearing this bullshit, man. They got some paperwork. I ain't read it, but you need to take care of it. And he moved on to the next fan and was talking to the next motherfucker. Cuz shook our hands.
So you think he felt like bad about it? He felt embarrassed about it?
Not at all. What it got to do with it, Cuz was high. He was on crystal for sure. His eyes was like this. If you look, I look at everybody watching the videotape. Did anybody watch what was going on before he actually pulled up and all that? Anybody really actually watched the videotape? But the way the camera is like you know how you look at a selfie? You know you got a camera, you looking at a selfie, so the way y'all looking at it's like a selfie. That's what's fucking everybody up. The way that camera is there, it's like a selfie. It's like a camera like this.
Gotcha.
So everything ain't, you understand? If you do a video on your selfie, it's gonna look different than if you flip that camera around and do it the way it's supposed to be done. It's the gas station camera, so it's like a selfie.
Copy.
Don't not make no sense. That's why they trying to analyze. I'm like, it ain't the same. If you move like that, it's really moving like this. You understand what I'm saying? But ain't nobody analyzed what's really happening. I came from 3 stores. You walking through the Marathon store, there's a door. Here go the front door. Then behind the counter is another door. Then you walk around here and there's another door. That's the break room. So I had to break through that door, break through that door, break through that door, and I'm the first nigga to them. I come from this store though. So now you can come from this store through the warehouse, through the Marathon store to the T-Mobile. We owned all of it, they all connect. So if I walk into here, I'm gonna come out way over there. So you had conspiracy, look at Cowboy over here, and why he come out over there? If the police is raiding over here, we can shut this door and go that way. You got to have a warrant for one of these motherfuckers. Which one you want? I'm just saying, come on. And then combinations on every door. But no matter.
Would you have
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. What you got to say?
I was gonna say, would you have done something differently? You know, that's something that we all do, right? Would you have done anything differently? Could you have done anything differently?
It was nothing I physically have done, because I replay in my head a couple times. I told bro, we've been out here too long. It's time to go. You know, we know the program. You know, we know the program. I'm not knowing that cuz is waiting for the big homie to pull up or whatever. You know, if you look at the videotape, Nipsey pulled in. Everybody say I was broke, but my Audi A7 on the deuces pulled in right behind them. The female jumped out and gave me my food. You see me come out the store, like, hey, what up, bro? Talk to Nip. Nip pulled up. Nobody know when Nip gonna pull up. Every morning Nip passed by. We go pull down the granny house, drop Imani off, come on back, smoke one with me. He headed downtown to the studio. Where you going, bro? Oh man, I'm on my way to Atlanta. What you got going on today? I'm about to go to Washington. Then I'm doing like, damn nigga, how you do this shit? You know, I was inquisitive. I asked cuz, how can you do this shit? State to state, nigga, and I'm watching you. Man, it was amazing to me. It was amazing.
You know, you did kind of mention that, you know, you were the first one to get to him. Like, do you remember what the conversation was, at least between him and you? When you guys were just trying to talk through
over, and when I seen it was no blood coming out his mouth, you know, I've been on the top of a lot of dead homies, and once that blood coming out their mouth, I know it's over with. So it wasn't no blood coming out his mouth, and he was still breathing. Feel me? So he had a hole right here, like on the side of his neck right here. So I put a hole right here, and he had a hole right here on his side, right here by his kidney. So bam, I'm plugging that right there, and I'm just praying in tongues, like, God, let him, you know, God, just, you know, bro, and I'm telling him, bro, stay alive, bro, keep breathing, stay up, you know what I mean? Black Sam pull up, bam, jump out, start pumping him, but bro was still breathing. The ambulance came out and they put the thing in his mouth. He was still breathing. When he got all the way in the ambulance, he was still breathing. He was still breathing on his own, you know what I'm saying? But it was literally no blood on the concrete. So it might have been all internal bleeding, but he wasn't leaking. It wasn't like it was coming out his mouth. It like, you know, when they get killed, it's because it's over with. Once the blood, because you're going to choke out. If the blood come out, the blood is thick as a motherfucker. If you choke out now, if you got a professional, he can cut a hole in your neck and get you right, you got action. But once that blood come out, it's a done deal. You know, but bro was breathing the whole time. So whatever it was, it could have been filling in his lungs or whatever, but bro was breathing the whole time, you know, and he kept trying to get up. He kept trying to get up. He kept fighting. You see him keep fighting. You know, like, you know, you've been drunk and you blacking out and your head keep doing like this and you blacking out, but you just trying to get up and you just been so drunk and you see just trying to get up, but he can't get up. So I don't know if that one, they said one hit his spine or whatever, but he kept trying to get up. You know? Man, he fought.
You remember kind of at least the last thing you were able to tell him?
No, I was praying. I was talking to God at that time. I wasn't talking to him, bro. I was talking to God, like, bro, God, please. And then when they took it off with him, we in there, we behind the yellow tape, and we in there, we don't know what's going on for hours. We like, you know, we sitting there like, man, you know what I mean? They gonna call him black, like, damn, we can't call what's going on. Then when it come out, like, what the fuck? You know, it's like, you know, After that, like I said, we was behind the tape. Once they came out that he was dead, man, to the parking lot. That's when the festivities started. That's when nigga, I blacked out. 2 5 of Hennessy later, then 4 or 5 niggas knocked out, and I was laid down at 77 police station.
Mm-hmm. You know, as far as you know, just a segue in terms of like being locked up. You know, Eric Holder is behind bars at this point. You know, are you satisfied with that? Like, I know we went the legal route, but would you have wanted to like?
Nah, ain't no satisfaction in none of that. I'm not satisfied not one bit. It ain't over, nigga. It ain't there. Right now, I know you suffering. That's cool. You suffering because you ain't high right now. You feeling stupid. You know what I mean? I done talked to trustees. I got trustees' phone numbers. We got watch. I went to jail 3 times. I went to jail 2 good times just strictly for this dumb nigga. I was hearing internet rumors. I went in there to make sure this nigga really, oh yeah, cuz is in the building. He's here, okay, we can squash that internet beef. Yeah, I had bail money. I said, nah, just take me. I want to go see. Yeah, are you feeling suicidal? Yeah, take me upstairs where Eric at. I'm feeling, you know what I mean? So I was an OSJ, snatched me up like, come on, bro.
You think the Insider gonna let Eric get out peacefully, or you think someone's gonna maybe get to him?
Never. He'll never see nothing. Never. It's a lifer right now that's doing push-ups every day waiting on this nigga hit the yard. That nigga, shit, that's gonna be like candy to a bear. That's gonna be some nigga right now in his cell right now listening to Nip with his headphones on, listening to that victory lap. And one day he gonna wake up and he gonna say, thank you, God. He's trust me, it's going. I'm just saying, you make a
the judge, because even the judge alluded to that too. Well, they kind of let him know, like you
go fuck a little kid right now, and take your ass to jail. You get what you get, motherfucker. You did a foul crime. Go play with a little girl, a little kid, not no little hot 16-year-old, some bitch that's already fucking. Go molest a motherfucker, and you get what the fuck you get. You did a foul crime, nigga, that's what you get, nigga. Simple as that. We ain't tripping on the time, nigga. You know what you deserve, nigga. There's some years, nigga. You don't deserve another day. But them days is eating you up right now, no. Them days is fucking you up. Cause you was in the courtroom with a stone face the whole time, nigga. Number one, the opening statement, your lawyer said, my client killed Nipsey Hussle. At that point, your dumb ass supposed to look at the juries like, hey, I was high, I tripped out, hey, mercy on the court, hey, I apologize. You supposed to show some remorse, you dumb fuck. But you sitting there like this the whole thing. You pled guilty off the dribble. Look at the jury and say, you know what, I was high. Hey, I had a fucked up childhood, whatever. Let the world know something, but you sat there with the Stone Cold Steve Austin face, nigga. You just.
Would that have helped him in regards of how you felt?
That definitely would have helped him. It would have gave some clarity. Maybe the judge was like, you know what, man, you was on drugs, you was high, you was hallucinating. You should have never said cuz called you no snitch, because I heard snitch never came. You should have said anything but that, nigga. Anything but that. Cowboy not even coming to court. Cowboy watching the show. I'm the only nigga heard that part of the conversation. So yeah, I'm showing up to look at this bitch ass nigga in his face, for sure. I'm there. Fuck what the world got to say. Say what you got to say.
Yeah.
Cuz pled guilty off the dribbles. He pled guilty off the dribble. You're guilty. You're on videotape. You're guilty. You did that. You're guilty. So throw yourself on the mercy of the court and say, you know what, Your Honor. Matter of fact, let me speak up. My bad, I fucked up. Shed a tear. Show us that you had some remorse, nigga. Come on. Show us something. Or you just don't give a fuck.
Now, you know, the element of like Nipsey, you know, it's like it's different sagas. It's the fact of losing him, and then it's the aftermath. You know, the aftermath is his own story. As a fan of Nipsey, you know, someone that was listening to his early mixtapes again and just watching him grind it out and figure out his momentum and get his stride, it was bothersome to see a lot of fake love in the industry, but I can only imagine someone that was right there with him every day. Like, how did you feel about that? Because man, I was seeing all kind of, as y'all would say on the West, bogus, weird behavior, goofy behavior from people that I feel like never even talked about Nipsey when he was around. Like, how did you respond to that?
Hey, a lot of motherfuckers was stunting, publicity stunting. They wanted to show up and do what they did. A lot of motherfuckers show genuine love though. You had some that showed genuine love. Then you had some that was styling for the cameras. You know what I mean? I just sat back and watched it all. I sat there and I cleaned the parking lot up. I did a lot of shit and motherfuckers watched. I got help here and there, but a lot of motherfuckers watched. You know what I mean? If you truly had love for it, you would have respected it, and you would have helped. You know what I mean? But I did get a lot of support. I got a lot of support from New York. I got a lot of support from Chicago, Atlanta. All the states came and showed me some love. I was more or less disappointed in some motherfuckers that knew them. I was more disappointed in them, more say when I would catch homies robbing somebody or doing something stupid. Like, look, bro, these motherfuckers can't show respect to them, nigga. If I catch a nigga out here robbing a motherfucker, I got a lot to lose. So if I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it royally. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna lose it, I got a lot to lose. So if you gonna play with me, I got a lot to lose, you know what I mean? So if I'm gonna put it on the line, I'm gonna put it on the line. So, it's all about respect, you know what I mean? And if the world is coming down here to show respect for them, you give them that respect. I don't give a fuck where they from. They had all the gangbangers from the other side, all the Hoovers, all the gangsters. They wanted to show respect. And we had homies like, this. I'm like, nigga, they send them over here. Tell them, come on. Tell them, come on. If a motherfucker say anything, I'm going in. Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to talk about. If they come to show respect for them, come on. Simple as that. We don't give a fuck. Right. I don't give a fuck where you from. You know what I mean? Because Nip was with that. Nip was with that, trying to get us together.
Especially from a business standpoint, when I went to LA, that was one of the spots I wanted to go to, spend money. And I'm sure that helps the ecosystem, so I wouldn't want to get touched if I'm over here trying to drop off some money into that area.
And I saw motherfuckers that came and spent good money and still get licked. And that I didn't want nobody to leave Crenshaw.
That's backwards though, I would think, right? That's backwards.
Well, everybody not eating. The ones that chose to get out there with t-shirts and follow the blueprint, the ones that followed the blueprint, we all ate. The ones that wanted to stick to the robbery blueprint, the whatever that blueprint, the selling blueprint, that blueprint, we know what it lead to. We know if you're doing robberies, we know where you're going. If you're doing selling crack, we know what's gonna happen. We know that blueprint, you know what I mean? So we was just on a different blueprint. You got a chance that you can go the right way or the wrong way. You know what I mean? So some chose to go the wrong way, but a lot of homies benefited. After Nip passing, homies opened up shoe stores, homies opened up fish houses, homies.
Right.
A lot of ones did the right thing, and some of them just went to the wrong thing. They was like vultures. So.
Right. Well, I'm kind of getting to the tail end of the interview. I did have to kind of ask a couple more questions in regards of the love, the fake love. I'm not trying to get Cowboy into any trouble, but I got to do my job and ask questions. Did it no, I'm gonna name some names just from a fan perspective. Nip was very proud about doing stuff on his own. He was able to, come up and make his own stride and didn't really get the push from other majors in the game. Did it bother you on how Dr. Dre was kind of dealing with Nip in his career? And then later on, I think he would do a song with The Game, and it seemed like it was part of a Nip verse would be on that song. How did you, from your point of view, look at that? And did Nipsey give you any perspective on it as well?
Well, Nip was his own man. He was doing his own thing. So Nip's career just got ended early. Had he been another year in the game, he would have done with the Dre's. He would have dealt with everybody. He would have dealt with everybody. He just had broke the ice. The DJ Khaled thing. That was his first album. that he did on his own. He just did the Puma deal. So on his own, without nobody, he did a Puma deal, a partnership. That wasn't a Puma deal, that was a partnership. You see Puma, you see TMC, the Marathon Cowboy, but TMC, right. You see that, right? But you see that was a partnership. You feel me? That was a partnership. That was big. That was one of the biggest moves he made, was that Puma partnership. You know what I mean? So that was big. He did that, you know, and Victory Lap was his only album. Everything we heard, he was so popular just off all the mixtapes. So he had just arrived. So now, after Victory Lap, don't you think Dre and everybody in the world gonna recognize bro now?
I thought from the fan view, I thought they should have already known. And he was already kind of making strides.
He didn't create no waves. He was just mixtaping it. He created a hell of a wave on the mixtape. You know, he had an organic following. A lot of motherfuckers got a major following, but they don't have that organic love. They got millions of posts, but when they post something, they got the same numbers as a nigga that got 50,000 organic. I got me. When they come fuck with Cowboy and they look at my shit, it's organic. It's not millions. Okay, I got a small fan base, but when I post something organically, they're there. You know what I mean? I don't have millions of fake people. You know what I mean? So when I post something organically, it's people that love me. So when Nip did something, he had an organic fan base. So he could sell a CD. He could sell something for $100. He could do shit that nobody could do because he had an organic fan base. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, you know, a part of that too, when we lost Nip, people were also getting backlash. People were getting called out for like doing too much. And I would have to highlight The Game, his whole response. He was posting Nip a lot. He was wearing the braids. He got the blue Lambo with Nipsey on it. Yeah. Is that genuine love, or was that just like you think a little extra that he was putting on to?
Coming from The Game, that was genuine love. Coming from The Game, that was genuine love. Game had love for bro. Nip had love for bro. They had a good relationship. You know what I mean? If the game wasn't putting it on thick, that Game really hurt. Game was hurt. A lot of niggas was hurt. You know what I mean? That was really hurt. You know what I mean? You know, niggas like Snoop, niggas like The Game, niggas like Big U, or niggas like me. You know what I mean? We were really hurt. There's a lot of motherfuckers that was really hurt. Yeah, The Game was his partner though. They was on tour together, whatever.
Yeah,
The Game.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
The Game called me. You know, I got a little. He put a little sample of me on one of his songs on the new Drillmatic, and he called me, asked me for clearance. I let it go. He wanted some other clearance with the family or whatever. It was a no-go. But either way it go, you know, when The Game hit me up and said, bro, could I get clearance to put your little sample on the front of one of my songs, I texted him back and I said, you know, Nip had love for you. Whatever you need, take care of it. I know Nip had love for bro, so you know I'm not gonna question with The Game's.
That's dope. That's good. It's good to come from you though. You know.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. It's good to come from you.
You know, The Game wasn't a clout chaser. That's for sure. That was his friend.
Now, what about this Reggie Bush GoFundMe page that he had for Nipsey? You caught that?
No, I didn't catch that.
The family shut it down though.
Okay.
The family shut it down. Yeah, Reggie Bush. After Nip would pass, he would launch a GoFundMe to help raise money for the kids. Yeah. And the family was like, we don't need that. Do you think they took it as like disrespect? Like Nipsey had his affairs in order. You know. Yeah.
Hey Bush, run that. But yeah, nah, that's just, you know, they had their shit together though. You know, bro and their family, they had it together though. But the Crenshaw district could use that shit. Bush, you know, they gotta realize Nip vision and now maybe the family vision is two different things. You know, many niggas might not recognize that. You know, Nip visualized this. His brother is visualizing that. So, you know, Nip was the glue. Without Nip, it's a lot of key players that are just out here. We out here. You know what I mean? We all doing our own thing. It's a few bosses out here that was Nip. Nip had some bosses. Nip didn't work. Nip didn't just have boys up under him. You know, the boys just continue doing the boy thing, but the bosses are doing boss shit. So
that's a great segue into, you know, one of the questions I had. So one day I was riding my motorcycle and I rode it through the neighborhood to go see the Marathon store. This is a few years after Nipsey had passed. And I can't. I gotta be real. It was hard seeing that the store was boarded up that way. For what he represented to me, and the inspiration that he gave me, and that really like it sincerely hurt. Because as an entrepreneur, you know how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into stuff. The obstacles that we all face. How do you feel about that? Like just thinking about that store being boarded up and closed, and after all that work that y'all did.
Well, it wasn't that. We wasn't ready. We wasn't ready. The family wasn't ready. Every day that I walk, but that whole parking lot got filled up with candles. Do y'all know who cleaned up every candle in that parking lot? I cleaned up all those candles. Trash cans, dumpsters, every candle that I had to throw away from my dad. You think I'm ever gonna see Nip on a t-shirt? All these candles, all these people coming by. It wasn't supposed to end like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you finally made it. It wasn't supposed to end like that. So I was traumatized for 3 years. I just sat around that parking lot like, if they gonna kill me, they gonna do it right here. I'm right here holding it down. I kept programming, even when the store shut down. So we were open for a while after Nip passed. We still were open for a while. Then we shut down. Right. Then we shut down and everybody went to the Canoga Park store, and that they gave me an option. You wanna come fuck with us or you wanna fuck with the homies? I ain't done with the homies yet. It's still some more souls I gotta save. So I'm a boss. I did everything. Yeah. I did everything for Nip and Nip only. So niggas get it twisted like why Cowboy don't fuck with Nipsey friends or why he don't fuck with his brother. Nip was my friend. I adopted his brother and his cousins and his friends. But that was my boy. So it might be a nigga in this crew that I don't like. But we cool as a motherfucker as long as Nip here. When Nip gone, nigga, we at the show, after the show, nigga, that's your ass, nigga. To this day, they know what it is. I don't bite my tongue. I ain't a good liar. I don't know how to lie. You know what I mean? If I'm lying, you gonna know. I ain't a good liar, so I tend to keep it 100.
So does it like bother you? Does it hurt you to see that? All y'all, what y'all put together in this blood, sweat, and tears?
Well, it's not that. Now it's back built. They building it up and they got the foundation coming from the kids. So you got the Hussle Foundation. So now it's not boarded up no more. Now they now they building it up. So, it took me 3 years to mourn. Maybe it took the family 4. Maybe they finally starting, you know what? We're going to start doing what we got to do. You know what I mean? It might have took them 4 years, 5 years to sort out their affairs after a major death like that. You know what I mean? So after something like that, we didn't need the money. We need bro. All the money in the world, we need, fuck the money. We missing this guy. Ben had the money. Ben had, it was more lovely with Nip here. So if Nip gone and you get some extra million, that don't mean shit. That don't mean nothing. If Nip ain't here, it don't matter. So I can see how the family feel. We got money, we this, but we ain't got. So it took some time. So now they finally getting it together. It was, man, we miss Nip. He was our everyday. So I couldn't imagine how Lauren feel or the family. That was my close friend. So I couldn't imagine a brother, a mom. You know what I mean? So that's a different. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's got to be, you mentioned Lauren. That's got to be a tough position for her for sure. And even as a woman, she deserves love. She deserves to experience that. How does you as a close friend of Nip look at, her maybe even moving on with somebody else?
That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one, that's a tough one. But, everybody must go on, but man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one right there.
It's conflicting. You think they need to be cool with y'all as far as his friends? Y'all should get the co-sign?
No, with Lauren, whatever make Lauren happy. Bro loved Lauren. Bro put her on the pedestal. Bro actually had love for Lauren. You know what I mean? So whatever Lauren want, whatever make her happy. If she finds somebody to make her happy, then I'm all with that. As long as she happy, because I couldn't imagine in her shoes how to feel, what nigga could fill that void. You know what I mean? If she find a nigga that can fill that void, more power to her. You know what I mean? Shit, more power to her. Yeah, 'cause that's a hard void to feel.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah,
That's got to be because she deserves that, you
I
know.
can find me a friend like Nip like that. You know what I mean? Can I find one? You know what I mean? Can I find a diehard nigga that, you know, bro never switched on me no matter what. I'm talking about I jump in this car with a crack pipe, crack in my pocket, load my pipe up, take a full pull, throw my pipe out the car, blow the smoke out, lay down, say, man, drop me off at the studio for a couple of days. Cuz never judged me or nothing. Said, man, get your shit together. You know what I mean? So he accepted me at my worst. You know what I mean? And it never changed though. Never changed. Never sidebar to talk behind my back. You feel me? He always inspired me. Like, bro, get your shit together. Do this. You know. Yeah, you know. So.
Now, I did forget to ask you this question going back to losing Nip, and I have to do it because this conversation went viral on our platform, and you're here. I talked to a gentleman who left the LAPD. It was a young brother. He was facing racism in his own camp. You know, he ended up having a racist encounter with the LAPD, and he ended up leaving, and now he's suing them. I asked him the question if, like, you know, just because I'm trying to maybe connect some dots, but at the same time, I wanted to ask the question if he thought the LAPD had anything to do with Nipsey being killed, or if, and he said he wouldn't be surprised if they sent Eric Holder to go do that. Any comment on that, man?
Nah, you know, say for instance the police did that. Ain't you gonna try to get away? So if the police gave you some bread, look, go do that. You gonna put a mask on, you gonna run around, handle your business and get away. So if you in it for the money, you gonna try to go spend the money. Cuz was just high and he tripped out, you know. It has something to do with that CD. You know, he had jumped out earlier, like a day before that, and he asked the homie, like, it's a homie named Felony. He introduced me to Nipsey. That's the nigga that really introduced me and brought Nip to my studio, introduced me to Nip. You know what I mean? He was the first. I had Felony in the studio, and I had seen Nip, but he's the first one that brought Nip to me. You know what I mean? So Felly fell. Eric had jumped out and asked him to check out this disc. Like, man, I got my new disc. Did you hear it? And bro was like, nah, I ain't heard it, but he said he had the 2 pistols with him. And he told me, I learned this during the murder trial. He had popped up one day during the murder trial. So he said, man, he said, I felt if I wouldn't have listened to this disc, this nigga was gonna do something to me. So he said, I listened to the disc. So then after all this shit played out, and as I think back, I remember when he was talking to me and Nip, after Nip was like, take care of that shit. He was like, man, y'all heard my disc? And we like, gave the nigga the, huh? Like, nah, we ain't heard that. And then we moved on to the next fan. So it could have had something to do with that disc.
Put a little seed maybe in
The CD that we shined him off like, huh? Fuck is this nigga talking about? What the fuck I want to hear your CD for? That, you know, could have been that. Or when he got in the car, the bitch that just took a selfie with Nip, she on the phone with her homegirl. Oh man, that nigga so fine. I got a selfie with this nigga. He's like, bitch, fuck you and that nigga. And he high. I can go for any of those scenarios, but I can't go that you killed cuz that he called you a snitch. Don't say that. Now you can say, yeah, I went to the car, my bitch pissed me off. I'd have kicked my feet up, say, okay, that makes sense. But you can't tell me something that I heard. You know what I mean? So that was my stand. That's why you're not gonna say that. Don't justify why you did what you did. But bro called me a snitch, so I did what I had to do. No. Bro ain't call you no snitch. Now if you just say, I went to the car and my bitch said Nip was fine, I just lost it. I can understand that. I done lost it over a bitch before. Come on, shit, come on. Fuck. I can respect that.
Now, this has been a great convo, and kind of in the closing side of it. What have you done to get past the losing of your friend and brother? Like, what have you done behind the scenes in terms of like the work for yourself? Because that's got to be tough, you know. You guys were like, a lot of stuff was moving, and for someone to take someone like that away, that was a general, I would say, you know. Like, what have you been doing to get past and try to move on and heal?
Well, really, when he passed, I sat back and I analyzed and I looked around. I was wondering who was gonna step up, who out of Nipsey crew was was gonna step up and really, who could fill his shoes? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, they waiting on me to fill his shoes. Shit, I can't fill bro's shoes. Not in no music. I can't out rap this nigga. You feel me? But I got a lot to say. I got a lot of experiences. So when it came down to it, I said I got to step up and I got to keep the message alive. You know, he took a little bit of what I gave him and he took it far. So it's time for me to take it just a little farther. You know what I mean? So he took a little seed that I planted and he did a great job at it. He took it to heights that I never expected. You know what I mean? I told him he was gonna be great. I told him he was gonna be big. I told him all of that, but I didn't realize that he was gonna be that big. You know what I mean? And I could imagine if he'd have lived longer. You know, I'm in the Pac generation. We never thought it'd be another Tupac. Like Tupac was the hardest nigga around.
Right, so you can easily see that.
Yeah. So for me to run across Nip and he was the Pac of this generation, which he is, you know what I mean? So that I witnessed Snoop Dogg, I witnessed Pac, and for me to have my own little junior Pac, my you know, they got their stars right next to each other. Come on, you know what I mean? You can't tell me dreams don't come true. You know, when I came home from prison, everybody thought I was dreaming. You know what I mean? But, you know, through Nip, it wasn't no dream. It wasn't no dream, because I could show you through Nip. I wasn't dreaming. It was real. They should have took me serious off the top. You know what I mean? But it was real.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned something, and I got one more question after this. You mentioned, like, things where Nipsey was working on. What does that look like? What does Nipsey look like today? What do you think would be going on right now if he was still with us?
Oh, man. Making music, going around the world, inspiring people, doing this podcast, you know what I mean? He would continue to inspire. He would have, man, when bro was, man, he had the whole hood on point. He had us right. And for this little side buster to come through and do what he did, you know, a nigga that ain't really, you know, man, for them years that Cuz was gone in prison or whatever he did to pop up and fuck up the program, he didn't get a chance to witness how the hood was functioning. We was out there functioning. When Nip pulled up, man, the whole hood pulled up, man. Like I said, niggas that was beefing, we be out there with Bloods, Crips, everybody. But we gonna support Nip. I'll be on stage, I say, Nip, man, look at all them red rags out there, bro. Look at that shit. I look around and say, is these niggas right here gonna fight? I'm looking at some of these, I had skinny jeans on. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is this shit? Nigga, do this nigga know how to squabble? He got on skinny jeans and spiked boots. I'm sitting there come home from prison like, nigga, is this nigga hood? Oh yeah, that nigga good. All right. He said, I wasn't for sure, you know what I mean? It took some convincing for me coming home from prison. And I looked at the squad that was on stage and I was like, man, look at all this red out here. But Nip had love from all sides, you know what I mean? In the campaign, like, I didn't think Bloods and Crips would be able to really like get along. You know, we had to get along in jail when we up against the wall, but to see him in the game do what they had to do, it gave me hope. So I'm gonna still continue with that. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to unite us as a people. We don't want these colors to break us up.
Right. Mr. Cowboy Douglas, you know, this was a great, insightful interview that you gave about yourself at the top of this, and of course, on the life of Nipsey Hussle. Being that you know, are a man half a century old, you know, what's that message? What's that thing, man?
God damn. Oh, nigga, all right. Well, they told me I'd never see 21, you know, and I was coming up like, nigga, you ain't gonna never see 21. They never thought I would even see 21, you know, in the era that I grew up in, you know what I mean? Google up the 90s statistics and Google up what we got going on now. I don't think it's too much comparison, you know, the 90s was stupid, you know what I mean? It was stupid in comparison to what's going on now, so.
Given that you've been able to live that amount of life, but then even the type of life that you were able to encounter and get through and experience, what's the realest thing that you can tell somebody watching this right now? What's that main message that you want to drive home to end this off?
Never give up and keep God, you know. God plays a big part. You know, without God, I wouldn't have made it this far. You know what I mean? My acknowledgement of God through all prison, through whatever, you know, going to those chapels or whatever it may be, prayer, and believing in yourself. Believe, and do the right thing. If you're doing right, just do the right thing. The easy shit, the devil only can tempt you with common things. He can't come out of the ordinary. He can only tempt you with common things that, that's gonna throw you off track. So if your God gift is to do this, and he can throw you off over here smoking crack, then his job is done. You stagnated. You're not doing your purpose. Find your purpose and feel it. That's it. That's life. Once you know your purpose, my purpose wasn't to be a rapper. My purpose is to speak and tell you about my life experiences and to inspire you. If I can do it, nigga, I've been to prison, nigga, I done smoked crack, nigga, now what the fuck I'm doing in a Rolls Royce and you not? What's your problem? What's your problem? If I can do it, nigga, if Cowboy can make it, what the fuck is your problem? I done gangbang, I done been to every prison, I done, nigga, come on, I done, nigga, boy, jumped out of Vegas casinos, nigga, I don't know how many floors up, hit the concrete, smacked that motherfucker, and nigga, and got on. And I go back the next day like, nigga, how the fuck did I jump off of that and make it? Feet, and it feel like I got nails in my shit for 2 weeks. Sitting in the bathtub, nigga, with some nigga's wallet, nigga, smoking some crack. Nigga, I done robbed the motherfucker. Jump out of casino. Nigga, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So, where I came from to where I'm at now, man, you wouldn't believe it. I'm a business owner. I got big plans. A lot of motherfuckers want to tear down what I'm doing. I'm trying to unite us as black folks. I want niggas to establish their credit. I want niggas to be successful. So if you go against what Cowboy talking about, I understand everything that's going on. Okay, but look where we at now. Do you want to, well, how is Cowboy riding around in the Rolls Royce? How Cowboy get gold chains? They asking the wrong questions. How are we gonna network and make some bread? How are we gonna unite the Bloods, the Crips? Only thing separating us is the color and the block. One block, West Boulevard, separate me from Inglewood. If I'd have been on this side, I'd have been from Inglewood family. If I'd been on this side, I'm from Rolling 60s. If I'd have been born on that side, now I'm from A-Tray Gangster on this side, or I'm from Front Hood 60s. Or no, we're on this side, no, I'm from V&G. No, you grew up on this side, so you from 60s. No, you on that side, you from V&G. You grew up on this side, well, you better run your ass back over there. You know what I mean? So we didn't have no choice, so we gotta recognize that we all the same. We didn't have no choice. So we gotta unite and have some type of structure. Like I said, if we got beefs, put those beefs down, get in the boxing ring, squabble up like men. If you can't handle it, get somebody to handle it for you and let's live. There's no reason that a black man should kill another black man over a verbal dispute, over some pussy, over some bullshit. How many beefs done started over some pussy? This hood beefing with that hood and that hood over some pussy? And we still killing each other? Some shit that started in 83 cause wooty woo fuck wooty wop, nigga, and we still killing each other over some pussy, nigga. Ain't nothing major. We'll kick off most some pussy. Yeah, so y'all wanna kill each other for the next 20 years over some pussy, that's on y'all, It's too much pussy out here to be killing nigga over. Shit.
Well, with that being said,
you been on Fig lately? You been on Fig? Them bitch like a parade. Nigga, pussy legal. All right, my bad. We losing.
No, you fine. You fine. This was a great interview. Just one of just seeing the story of Nip over the years and being able to talk to someone that was right there and even learning your story. I'm sure, people around you respect what you've accomplished, what you're still doing. And I'm sure the message is going to be heard by those who need to hear it. So, Mr. Cowboy Douglas, thank you for your first one-on-one with High Plus.
Much
thank
love,
you, sir.
bro. I'm trying to keep the message alive. The marathon must continue, you know what I mean, at all costs. So, any fans, anybody that really true believers in the marathon ain't on you, it's in you. Run that race. When the marathon, they don't know. Yeah. Life is like a marathon. Run a lap. A marathon, life, my parents didn't tell me that my life was gonna be like this. They didn't tell me about prison. Life is a marathon. It ain't no easy race. So be prepared to run a marathon in your life. Here I am, 50, just now living a good life. 50. Y'all motherfuckers is young, so what can y'all do at 30? So by the time you hit 50, you balling. You retired. You're done. You know, so now us as elders, we getting older. We gonna be elders next. Now, right now I'm an OG. Next I'll be an elder. So now we gotta take care of our elders, and then you gotta listen to these elders so we can keep it going. Cause next you'll be an OG, then you're gonna be an elder. So we gotta pave the way. So when you take that transition. Right now I'm still young. I'm ready to fight. I'm 50, but I'm ready to get cracking like I was 34. And they're like, "Oh, nigga, sit down, sit down." You know what I mean? And I don't mind sitting down, but I'm gonna fight for my cause, though. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fight for what's right. You know. So through all of this, the main key is do the right thing, keep God first. You know what I mean? Go with your instincts.